be the same for both teams as we get deeper and deeper into their playoff runs, and now going up against each other, we'll see how that turns out, right? We're going to expect the Mantis being first saved, or first banned, I should say, and then the Gambit going to be saved as a reaction from both teams. So it feels like that first half of the ban draft is going to be pretty much the same that we've been seeing, not just here, but also in the last series we just saw.
Well, that's going to be answered very quickly as we get on into it. It's a double Mantis both sides. Locking in everybody. As we know, Mantis, one of the most banned heroes so far in the Pacific playoffs. We've got to be very careful how we approach this next one. But it's going to be a Gambit Protect over here for Reject. And on the side of Gen G, they're going to go for another pick here. What do they want to secure for themselves? It's going to be a Rogue ban just to counter that Gambit Protect. It's pretty stock standard right there so far, Dan. What are we thinking they're going to pull out here on the next one? Mirror Gambit Protect. That's
so far, the first half of Bandra has been relatively the same, right? The Mantis being first gone, then you save the Gambit, then Rogue is being taken away because you really can't afford to let that Gambit Rogue team up slide, and both teams know how strong that team up is, and both sides have a very strong Rogue player as well, so no chances given there. Star-Lord even taken away from Gen G as they respond with a ban on the Rocket. But I think the Star-Lord ban is going to be worth it in the end, at least. So you denied the Gambit and the Star-Lord team up there. Well, not team up, but ultimate team ups there.
That's true, yeah. Well, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're a team up in their own right. Maybe just in aura, maybe not stats, but still can get some value out there. A lot of synergy there. Kits just really work around each other. You know, the Rocket, the Mantis, the Star-Lord. Maybe one day we get Drax, the Destroyer, to the game. Add a little Vanguard, that'd be nice, alongside Groot. Maybe Nebula, Assassin, Melee, could be fun. You know, we've seen a lot of Melee Assassins, and speaking of one right now, we got Biggie on the Angela on our screen, flying high with the Angela's charge, Assassin's charge. You gotta be very, very careful not to be on the end of that one, right? Oh, straight away, going for a little bit of poking, but you're gonna be able to retreat for now as the teams regroup and rotate around the good old big tree in Krakoa.
Gonna take a look at the team composition, right? Gen G, the idea of their game plan is simple. Try to dive into the enemy backline of Reject, try to disrupt them as much as possible. Whereas on the side of Reject, they're taking a little more of a passive approach, right? Gargoyle on the Magneto just to provide the bubbles to his fellow backliners in case they do get jumped on. Brownie has a lot of that mobility to try to stave off the aggression, but Yaki also on the sky with the Ultron. We'll see how long they last in this first engagement, but it looks like Gen G are going to come out on top with a 3-for-1 trade.
Yep, pick for a pick right there as they do take out 3. Brownie, however, does manage to take Salvation on the backside there. You got to be very, very valuable to get that pick, but FMCL's on the chase. This Brownie's going to have to go for the health pack, but already the devil is on them right now. You got to be careful not to get a clean shot from Bobo. It's taken Brownie as they thought they got away. Zenstar in the sidelines as well, taking out Piggy. Presence of Venom Starry out here. You got to lock in and be careful, but the point does capture the Gen G as they start up their percentage for now, but Reject have time, and they're regrouped, and they're going to get ready for this next fight.
Right now, Reject have to play very, very fast. Although Gen G do win out in that first engagement, Reject did stall for a little bit, so that Gen G, they're going to have to play this map out for a little bit longer if they really want to secure this first round at the very least. And Gen G, they know that Reject want to play fast, so Gen G are just bringing the fight right to them, right? Get that close hold down, try to force Reject to use ultimates on their end, but right now, looking at the numbers, Gen G do have a slight advantage in that ultimate advantage.
Yep, the advantage is being pushed right now, but it's going to be met by Yaki with the Rage of Ultron right there, trying to even the odds. Sunghun taking out FMCL. That's going to be one down, so Duep's going to hit the Freedom Charge, give it a sustain to Gen G, call them up right now, and give them a little bit of that sauce to get their ult charge up again. We can match it because Skittles has the Royal Flush. Sunghun's going to have it too. Venom in the backline, gets the Tendril, and does manage to detect Lasher, but they're going to invis jump out for now. Big Optic Blast goes as well, and we're going to let it out with the DD going off right there. FMCL mix it up with a little Kumio unleashed from Berber right there, as everybody just throws bangers at each other. 4 ults coming out from Reject. Is it enough? As Gargoyle does take out FMCL. Numbers game is in Reject's favor here, but the fight isn't over yet, as we're going to see Salvation hit the bait of both worlds and start that dance in Fury right now. Is going to be enough to build to something else. It does sustain both teams right now. Still taking a bang for bang each, but Dan, nobody's down, but Gen G's still capturing.
Yeah, Gen G are going to win out in this in the end. Reject committed so many of those ultimates in the initial first half of that team fight. And as soon as those ultimates expired, Gen G, they were able to hold on to Salvation with the Fate of both worlds. And once he gets that off, he just goes goes in, gets the dance floor up, and sustains the rest of Gen G. And Reject, because they use so much so quickly, have no response towards the tail end of that fight. And it's looking like it might go to overtime. Gargoyle, no, it's actually Piggy. That was the one that was able to touch in time. But can the rest of Reject scramble here?
It's a bit of a sacrificial lamb strat right now. They are down a hero, down 2. Nobody's there for the final contest. Overtime ticks down and out, and it goes to Gen G, taking first round here on Krakow. We're going to head off to the Cradle and see if Reject can come back with a strong force there. But, yeah, it's a tough one. They used too many ults. They dumped ults directly into Gen G's resources, but Gen G staggered out their usage, had the Captain America duet just to build their ult charge once again and really just nullify any attacking force that Reject tried to pull off. However, Reject did have good rotations when it came down to Piggy as well as Brownie, taking different points, Laser Point, Assassin's Charge, you name it. They were available, allowed them to get some picks and take off stragglers for Gen G. But Gen G, once they were down a hero, they went into stall mode and they kept dancing around the point, not allowing Reject to get a fully committed fight. And we know what they want. The combo, Dan, it's right there, Piggy and Brownie. If they can land the Heavenfall Optic Blast combo, it could be the big team fighting play that they need to finally get capture.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, though, right? Reject still have to navigate a lot of that ult charge in order to get those online, whereas looking at the side of Gen G, they can go for more aggressive options, right? Zenstar has access to the Feast of the Abyss, so it's going to cause a lot of disruption into the backline of Reject. Duep, there, very close to that Freedom Charge, could easily extend these fights, and Reject, you're going to have to get these online and these ultimates online and get as much value as possible. And Reject, for now, are going to look to try to spread out, get access to the main mission area before it opens up. And there goes Zenstar with the Feast to try to disrupt everyone.
Ain't over till it's over when we got Bobo on the Cyclops right now, taking out Brownie in the long range there. A little bit of assistance from the rest of Gen G, but now it's a 6v5 situation. But they're all on Bobo now as they do get a bit of marksmanship going for Gargoyle, who's gonna swing away just in the last moment right there to survive. But Captain Duep on the back line right there, taking us on the 1-2, and see you later. You're done and dusted by the Captain America there. You got to be very smart, very careful when approaching this Cap right now, who's getting the double KOs, and I think he's hungry to go for a third. He's going to be chasing down Lastro. Lastro has ult, so Duep's got to be very careful here, but he's going to retreat now, get a health pack, regroup with the rest of Gen G.
Yeah, Gen G just barely won that team fight, right? Reject were getting so close to those ultimates, but they all went down at like the 90-95% mark, and because of that, Reject just never found an opportunity to go for it. And now here comes Gen G with the aggression to force Reject to use ultimates in front of their own spawn room, and so far it does seem like Gen G are getting the better end of this trade.
Definitely the dance of the battle from FMCL does get 2 down. At the same time, it does force out the Optic Blast from Brownie, which does take down 1 for now, but they're going to regroup. They're going to run back from spawn. And just even though Gen G was down in the numbers there, they managed to take out a couple from Reject to just nullify that push once again. An effective commitment of their ults Reject get, but you're right, Dan. Outside their spawn, that's not what they want to be. You want to ult on the mission area. You want to get the value. That's what Reject need to activate right now. Let's see if they can, as they do chase down FMCL with the big Royal Flush. Slam of the Venom, face to the Abyss, but he's going to be countered. The damage does manage to get FMCL, but Skittles does protect the rest of Gen G right there as they keep up that tendril action right now. Anti-Venom is going hard as much as they can, but now it's time for Salvation to bring out the flush, and they're gonna go royal with it right now as they do Amplifier right down, matching out with the Captain America Piggy, trying to go in and bring some freedom themselves. They slam on down, they take out Skittles. They finally got the numbers game in their favor here, but do Gen G stall it out once more?
So far, they're doing a good job at that. It does seem like Gen G realized that this fight might be lost, although Zenstar still finding an exit trade onto Lastro. He still goes down in the end, but Reject, look at how much of that ultimate they committed during that fight, right? Also great discipline as well. Piggy saving that freedom charge so that when Gen G go for those aggressive moves, Reject could easily just clap right back with the freedom charge, but here's the portal play coming in to try to get a little more percentage points and also trigger that overtime meter. Everyone on Reject are going to have to respond to what Gen G are throwing at them, and Bubble will find one-for-one trade overall. We'll see who comes out on top here.
We're going to find out right now as the Freedom Charge is launching in from Duep. That absolute portal from Gen G gave them future contestation. It gave them the power to keep on going right now. Gargoyle's trying to chase Reject. They're holding strong right there. Nobody's down, but they're going to be able to get Zenstar, and they do force the resources out. So how was it of good value? Did Gen G's portal get value? Well, they had to use Freedom Charge. They had to get a bit of a swap now to the Loki, but what did they extract from Reject's resource pool? It's the Kumiho, it's the Optic Blast, and now maybe the ult game is kind of balanced out. But the thing is, Gen G, they've got about 85% here to work with against Reject's odds right now. So it's a question of if they can actually extract value now, take away some resources from Reject to be able to capture here.
It did seem like Gen G thought that that fight, when they committed the portal, was in fact winnable. But unfortunately, it just did not translate to that. Reject are able to get the flip over and have a lot of those strategist ultimates online. Gen G still going to have to navigate about 5% more. Seunghoon, does he go for the Royal Flush aggressively, or is it Lastro that's going to be the one to lead the charge to try to keep Reject alive and retain all of this map space?
Well, we're going to find out right now as we see. Yep, big teleportation coming out from Yaki right there to be able to deny some of that damage into the midst of it all. Seunghoon's going to go for the Royal Flush. We're going to match it with Skittles, who also goes for the Copy Flush right there as the Loki. Everybody's aiming high, aiming, ready to go, trying to take somebody out. We're seeing a meteor charge from FMCL. Is it going to be Dog City? Is it going to be? Yes, it is, as Brownie is taken down around the corridor right there. Duep on the back line, drop it through the Krakow portal, taking out Seunghoon. That's another fire-powered up Captain America there. Big punches coming out. Freedom is enlisting right now as they do take down Lastra. Piggy takes another 2 in exchange, and Overtime sticking down now. I don't think there's time for a portal. It looks like it's gonna go to Gen G.
It just felt like Reject. They had control of that site, but then Gen G, despite Reject having access to the Captain America Ultimate uncontested, because Gen G didn't have access to it when Piggy pressed the Q button, Gen G still found a way to isolate some of those members on Reject who didn't get refuge inside of that Star-Spangled Path. And that was where Gen G found those opportunities. Just isolate anyone that doesn't take refuge inside of that Captain America Ultimate and then just wipe them out before they're even able to get that overshield to keep themselves sustained. And Reject, just ever so slightly, were a little bit fragmented in terms of that positioning, and Gen G take advantage of it, punish it completely, and they're able to get the sweep here and get map number 1. And ooh, Reject, you're gonna have to do a lot of work in the drawing board, because right now it might be a little bit concerning in terms of how well Gen G are playing as a team. And Reject, although there were moments where they were cohesive, it was not every single fight.
The reality is, Gen G, they're taking fights on the multiple fronts. They're allowing everybody to get focused onto one target and then sending someone around back. Whether that's FMCL on the flanking side, like whether that's Duep on the flanking Captain America, what they do is they take away attention of the priority picks Reject want to keep together. You want to get Brownie on the front line, charging up, building that optic blast to be able to take them down. You want to get all that value as well from Piggy on the Angela to be able to pick someone off and displace them. But the thing is, you can't displace Gen G because they've already spread out. They've already prepared for themselves to be displaced, so they're playing all around you on multiple fronts. So how can Reject tackle that? They're going to have to pick a map here. They're going to have to find a way really, really quickly to get momentum back, because right now, that was crazy. That's a 2-0 in favor of Gen G so far, and they already got their first map win.
And we'll see if they're able to keep that momentum up, or can Reject start to get a little bit of a resurgence going. We'll see after we come out of this break as we go into map number 2. So don't go anywhere.
Lights out. Get in here, y'all. Us against the world.
Well, Reject may have forgotten what the sting of defeat feels like, but Gen G just delivered them a reminder here on map number 1. It has been a long time since Reject have dropped a map. Guys, what happened here on map number 1?
I mean, it just felt like Gen G just had Reject's number every single step of the way. Every time they approached the team fight, they knew exactly what to do. And Reject, it just felt like they were trying to play more reactive rather than proactively, because it felt like every single fight, right? Gen G were the ones to be like, hey, we have these ultimates coming up soon. Let's just bring the fight to them and see how much resources that Reject are going to commit in order to try to combat us. And if Reject overcommit, Gen G just step away. They just wait for those ultimates to expire and then go at them again. That was just the rinse and repeat, right? Go in, try to see what you can draw out and then walk away, and then once those resources are gone, you go for it one more time, and that's when the eliminations happen.
Ooh, like, we got to talk about that, really. Like,
Yeah.
What can they change here? How can Reject approach this differently? They know what Gen G do. They've had plenty of scrims, they've had plenty of practice. Right now, it's tough, it's tough. I'm actually unsure. I'm unsure what they can do here, but maybe a different kind of map is the answer. Heart of Heaven? Kunlun? Okay. What does this map invite? What does this map specifically invite, especially with that first area?
Yeah, definitely going to be changing the things up here. Heart of Heaven, a map we don't get to see too often. And yeah, it does kind of feel like on rollout, Gen G kind of had the read against Reject. Very reliant on Brownie's Cyclops on point number 1, using the triple strategist, using the Ultron, going for some damage amplification. But that front line, yeah, the Captain America, the Venom there to dive and keep that forward pressure on. And of course, Gen G, a team that it feels like everyone follows in the footsteps of, so reliant on very fast hero swaps, comp changes, and by point number 2, they were back to 2-2-2 and just keeping the ball rolling here. So yeah, very interesting kind of left field map pick for Reject, but that's kind of the question. Is a change of scenery going to be enough to turn the tide?
I think it also has to come down to the band draft, right? I noticed, right? Gen G used one of those bands on the Luna Snow rather than the White Fox, right? It seems like Gen G went for the die composition. Usually if you want to go for a die composition, you take away the White Fox. But Gen G make an adjustment. They don't go for the White Fox. They go for the Luna Snow instead, which means that Reject seems like they might not have a strong White Fox player. Gen G know that Lastro is very proficient on the Luna Snow, so they target that hero pool specifically instead of the White Fox that most teams decide to go for. And I think that's where Gen G got a slight edge there, and Reject are definitely going to have to figure out how they're gonna maybe tweak their band draft a little bit so that they have an identity of some sort that they want to rely on.
Oh, definitely. And what works with the Luna? Venom. Venom, we saw it. The Venom was good. Slamming around. He got some value early on, but what that didn't have was that Luna boost, which could have given that extra bit of sauce to be able to, you know, actually chomp them down. But maybe if they play this band phase out differently, maybe if they sort of adjust to this convergence map as well, we could see something different here on Kunlun.
Hey, we'll see about that as we head into the next band draft here in map number 2. Reject taking us somewhere different here, right? We don't really see a whole lot of Heart of Heaven here. In Ignite Pacific, usually it's like, what, Museum of Contemplation, Lower Manhattan. We're not going to be seeing Lower Manhattan for sure because this is the convergence map that Reject want to go to, and it's going to be Heart of Heaven as we head into the band draft. I wouldn't be surprised if it's relatively similar to what we've been seeing. Manta is going to be the first band here. Reject going to secure themselves the Gambit. Where does Gen G take us here? Is it going to be the Rogue or is it going to be something else?
The options are available. Ooh, Cyclops this early?
Okay.
Normally shows up 4th or onwards, but nice early Cyclops. What are they trying to play at here? Well, Gambit Protect surely has to be next. There it is right there. They're going to be able to secure that for themselves. So at the same time now, what will they do? Could they protect Cyclops? If they get away with it, is Reject going to let them have it? They got to ban Cyclops. Surely Reject do that. Yeah, that's the case. For sure.
So does that mean when both teams ban at the exact same time, is it going to be a simultaneous Rogue ban? Because Rogue is still available on the table here. Reject do bite the bullet and say, hey, we don't want to deal with that team up. We're just going to ban it right now, right before Gen G are about to get their save, which is right now onto the Star-Lord. And because Reject committed the ban onto the Cyclops, they deem that they may be able to handle what is the Star-Lord Gambit Wombo combo that we have seen many teams work with and get so much value out of it. Not just from the eliminations, but sometimes those eliminations don't even show up, but it's enough to scare away the enemy team, and they have to take shelter, and that's when the team with the Star-Lord starts to get more space. Reject, in the end, are able to get the Luna Snow one-sided, which does beg me to question, do Gen G commit their final ban onto the White Fox? No, it's going to be onto the Star-Lord to commit it one-sided. So that Gambit Star-Lord is only going to be in the hands of Gen G as they are on the defensive side. Reject choose to go on the attack. We'll see how they decide to handle this, because right now Gen G, look how spread out they are, right? Some of them are bunkering in that small room. Some of them are taking control of that high ground area right before that first mission area. And Reject, how do you decide to go for this? They're trying to control the high ground. They're going to try to control the low ground as well. But Gen G are definitely playing just a little bit more passive, right? Try to get those ultimates online as soon as possible. But with Seunghoon opening up the bank, it might just become a little bit more difficult.
Well, it was a very early pick there on Zensari, but he will be able to get back. Why? Because they've already gone for the strange switch, which means they'll be able to bring Duet back as well. But it's all on the rest of Gen G to survive this next fight. But the aggression coming out right now. Angela, Piggy, getting the value, chasing FMCL down and out they are. But they're trying to wait. They're trying to portal. Do they have the contestation? I think they do. And they'll have two Vanguards coming out of that portal right now for the stall. So Reject can have to rotate around this portal, try to get that advantage, try to get the momentum they need to be able to shut down this defense from Gen G and get their early capture. They want to get this convoy moving. They had enough of this first era and they want it now. But Zensari is going to hit the Maelstrom, taking out Piggy, the Angela that was terrorizing the backline for now. And they're going to even the odds. But Brown's got the mark of the Phoenix right there. And there's moment and there's power if they can take down Salvation as they try right now. Dwep is going to get the pick on Yaki as well. Brownie taking Bobo. Phoenix into the waterfall as well.
Yeah, Brownie had to use the Ensong Inferno to get the health reset, which guarantees Skittles to get a CYA down uncontested, and Gen G are going to hold off of it. Zensari using the portal to make sure that Gen G stay 6 members strong. They get the hold. This is very, very important because now Reject, their game plan was to get as aggressive as possible, especially in the likes of Gargoyle on the Vanguard Deadpool, which guarantees that he will have the first ever ultimate here in map number 2. But the pressure and the tempo is not enough. Gen G are able to match it, and now coming into this next engagement, both Gambits are going to have their ultimates.
All right, here we go. Moment of truth. If they can drop down, maybe set up the Agamotto, mix it up, could be big for Gen G. But on Reject side, they want to set it up with the Royal Flush, nice and early, forcing forward the pressure. Angela, Piggy already diving into the backline, replacing Duep into the backline of their own team right there. But they're going to Royal Flush their own. That's going to be Salvation, bringing that to even the odds. But follow up with a bit of Lastro dancing right now on the Luna. Going to bring a bit of dancing firepower to the team. But Bobo doesn't get the advantage with that right there. But the Agamotto does go off into the last stand. Coming out from FMCL, shredding through half of Reject right there. They're down a few Yakis in the backline. They're going crazy on the Devil. But there's just not enough firepower to help. Gargoyle is singled out as well. Bobo on the Starlord, phase shifting and drifting. Hopefully going to take Lastro out of the fight right there. But they survive, but they thrive, and this is an insane stagger right now. Who is in the backline hiding? You gotta take him out.
Yeah, but Gen G are taking a step back for a little bit just to reset, just for a slight moment. Piggy does have to have his Retribution try to lock up anyone on the backline. FMCL is the one that is going to be taken away to the waysides. Piggy is able to get another skewer onto Zensari, taking down dangerously low, but is still standing tall. Skittles is able to just in time get the CYA down, but it's going to be easily shut down by Brownie. And now as we head into this engagement, it's still going to be full neutral. No one getting anywhere close to those ultimates. Who's going to come out on top in this neutral fight?
Everybody's trying to set the mark right now. Brownie on the high ground, going for Zensari. Down goes the Strange. That's going to be one down from Gen G. Duep taking a bit too much damage. Maybe next for the culprit right there as Brownie is charging up that firepower. And they do manage to capture them right there. Piggy is the one bringing the pressure as well. Assassin charging everybody out of there. But it was a good hold nonetheless. And it does force them into a 2-minute 42 time bank right now. This is good movement for Reject right here. May be able to get it up and around, but this is the hardest part of the map to push down. The exact path of the convoy loops in over itself, which means Genji have about like 4 different focal point high grounds to defend from. And whew, the high ground is crazy.
Interesting adjustment. FMCL goes off the Wolverine into the Thing, which means Gen G are running a triple Vanguard setup. Skittles switches over to the Loki, which means Gen G, I think the game plan is have those Vanguards soak up as much damage as possible and then let either Salvation or Skittles to heal them up. Reject, if they really want to at least outpace the tempo that Gen G are about to prepare for, they're going to have to, at the very least, secure all these eliminations, but with how tanky Gen G are, it's going to be so difficult. Salvation found one pick onto Gargoyle, who had the Banhammer available, but because he went down, that's going to go all the way down to 0%.
Down it goes. Maybe we're going to see if we're going to see Salvation and Sunghun also drop their Royal Flushes at the same time. We will find out very soon. Setting the mark. We do see FMCL on the Thing. We're going to see Big Ben Grimm, but maybe first it'll be Bobo with a Startled in disguise right now with Green. Yaki. Big catch, big slash. But the last stand? No, it was a clobbering time. He did nullify too, but it doesn't unfortunately protect Gen G's Vanguard line for now. But still have Zensari flying high in the sky right there. 1 minute 13. Chugging down through Reject's resources. They do manage to get out of the caverns right now. But Gen G are going to have to regroup. They need to stop that Dragon Total momentum. But Reject have so many ults available.
Yep, most notably the God of Mischief, copy Sunghun with the Gambit ultimate, but Gen G are able to clap back with it. Gen G do have the combo with the Heaven's Retribution into the Meteor M. They're going to try to execute it now. We'll see if they're able to get any sort of dunks going, but then again, as all of these CC abilities are used, Gargoyle is able to find a double. That's the strategist line gone on Gen G, and they're going to have to concede this fight.
Ooh, they might have to, but we got 30 seconds left to still cook up a storm. Gargoyle slashing through, taking out Duo. If there's anybody portables, do you see it? Salvation's there. Maybe there's a chance. 2 meters, 196. Not much left. Bovo taken down. That's another as Zenstar is down out as well. The portal is there for the stall to buy some more time. Try to get them to overtime, but the numbers game is in Reject's favor right now, as they do manage to take them out of the portal one by one after another. Skittles does have ultimate, but maybe doesn't have the chance to use it for now. It all depends if they can stall, and right now they're kind of making it out of that portal, but it closes with 2 on the other side, and another 2 are down right there as Reject get the value and will be able to get that overtime shutdown, and another 90 seconds into the pool right here. Dan, they are still in this. Maybe they can take it.
They're playing a fine line right now as overtime went up for just a brief moment. Reject still able to secure that second checkpoint. I gotta give a shout out to Lastro with the regen domain. That was great timing, right? As Gen G were trying to file on in, Lastro pops that regen domain. Gen G don't really have a good angle to try to shoot it down, and we're able to just get that advantage going. And Gen G looking to get on the offensive move now. Skittles gets the copy, but Reject are handling it well, disengaging perfectly, and as soon as those cards are flown out, now it's their turn on the driver's seat.
Now it is time for them to drive. Let's see if they can get into full gear right now. 40 seconds left. Let's see if Reject have the chance. Brownie has the chance for an Ensong Inferno. Gargoyle as well with the Unicorn on the sidelines, into the smoke, into the fog. Will they be able to outsmart Gen G here? Is the question if they can bounce into the backline. Golden Unicorn for the block of damage to force Sunghun onto the flank as well. 2 different angles allow Sunghun to straight through to Skittles and take another down right there. That is a tough position here. Reject has some clean momentum right now, but it is final fight territory, and all they wanted to do was use resources to move, but Gen G wanted to drain those resources. They now have 5 ults coming up for this next fight. They are waiting to explode all at once, and we're going to start off with Salvation.
Lastro needs to get the copy quickly down. There it is. He's able to get the Gambit ult down, but he goes down. Reject's ultimate gets cut short. No one's able to touch. Gen G are able to defend, and Reject are going to have to settle with 2 points here. And how does their defense go for Reject? Because so far, on this offensive side, Reject are definitely looking a lot better here when you compare it to map number 1. They're making more aggressive moves and are actually proactively trying to get eliminations to try to deter Gen G from making any counter moves. And we saw that, right? Reject were able to find 1 pick with their own Gambit ultimate, and Gen G didn't have theirs in time, so they just easily concede, and that gives Reject a little more room to work with. And that's what you really want to see when you're on the Reject side, right? Get more proactive. Find more opportunities to get those E-libs before Gen G want to try to go for the counter punch.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. If they can, if they will. Find out as the 30 seconds till the mission area Weapons up until the spawn doors are out and Genji get their chance on attack. The question is, what will they want to do here? Now, we saw it yesterday. We did see it again. The fastball special. It might be showing up again. We might see Zenstar and FMCL bring out a combo, what we call the Union of Australia and New Zealand right there, the ANZ combo, as they love to bring out the fastball special. We love seeing it. It's cool, it's fun, and it's cheeky, but is it cheeky enough to catch Reject off guard? Are they ready for it? Are they prepared for it? I think Emma is a good choice for that, but it might be a bit troublesome because I don't know how Piggy's going to feel with a Wolverine flying at your face.
We'll see how they handle it, right? Duep has to be that anchor vanguard for Genji, so at the very least, there will be some shields to rely on. Reject looking to try to deter Genji from making any moves, but with how offensive they are set up with the fastball special, there's the Wolverine Airlines that we've been expecting, as everyone on Genji will try to get control of that high ground, but Piggy's having none of it right now. Oh my god, wait,
none of it.
What a carbon crush.
That was pretty big right there, but let's see if it follows up into something they can take down. Let's see Brownie charging up that Endsong Inferno, 50% already climbing. Skittles as well, close to the Seer. 3 minutes for Genji to take some action right now. Thunderclaps coming out from Zenstar. They do get the Exile right there onto Yaki. Will they be enough to take down the Devil though? That is the question. Now it's going to have to be enough for them to just get... Oh, Yaki returns a favor, taking out Boba. What a clean charge from Piggy as they do single out one right there. Startled down, but back with the BR Beacon. What do I say though, Dan? Ultimates are waiting to see Spark up.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Genji if they're able to get value out of the CYA, which is going to be shut down by Brownie. So Reject doing a great job at making sure that Brownie is staying healthy so that he's not forced to use the Ensemble Inferno to use it defensively, and then he gets very, very offensive and just wipes out the back line of Genji. And it's just Reject doing a great job at dissecting what Genji want to go for. They wanted to get aggressive with the CYA, but Reject knew that that was coming, and Brownie making sure that he stays healthy and is not going to be in any danger, uses the Endsong Inferno to just nullify it completely, and then Reject go for the clamp down, and that's what you want to see. We talked about it before coming into this round. Reject needed to play more aggressively, and they are exactly doing just that.
Absolutely right now. They're doing exactly what they need to do right now to be able to maybe get an upset here. Maybe take this map. I'm going to find out as they do go full force right now. Boba does take out Brownie clean with the commitment of 2 ultimates there. Is it going to be enough for the value? Lastro's timing out. They're trying to get the marksmanship. They're trying to see where Reject are grouping into the mix of it right now. They're going to get the counter signing coming out from Gargoyle. Phase shift and Boba tries to clear out the waterfall. They do allow themselves to catch out Yaki right there, but is it going to be enough for another one right now? As we're going to go legendary one more time from Boba. We do it following suit as well. FMCL's on Piggy. That's going to be Trudge in action coming out from the Daredevil right there, rushing through as they take Lastro down as well, even though they got the Royal Flush. Unfortunately, it's just not enough, even though Brownie's on the sidelines, landing shots, taking out Salvation and Skittles. We hold for a moment as it might be enough firepower for the score, but it is gonna be a portal contention at the very last second. The contest is still on.
Wait, this is winnable for Reject. Brownie did so well in getting so many exit trades. He's able to go in with a triple before he went down himself, and Reject just barely looking to hold on. Heroics coming in from Brownie, making sure that Genji are losing half of their team if they want to go for even more stagger potentials. And now Genji gonna have to quickly hit that reset button. 1 minute left on the timer. How much does Genji have left in the tank?
There you go, one more play, and that's the moment right there. Duep Diamond form right there, absolutely pummeling through Yaki, taking him down, but there's still 40 seconds. And sorry, with the absolute charge of Angela right there, taking him down. That's Lastro down, that's Sunghun down. That's just too much as Guardian Force right there. Boom, another one goes as Brownie is down. Even though they had a strong, massive defense here, Reject, whew, they're gonna have to still play this one out. Genji do manage to get through the waterfall.
Yeah. Props to Reject. At the very least, making Genji sweat a little bit there. But in the end, Genji were able to get the cap. But my goodness, Brownie, we need to see this guy clutch time and time again. And it just felt like during that fight, Brownie came up absolutely massive with the triple to make sure that Genji, if they want to extend this fight, they're going to have to do it with a little less members. But Genji, with a quick reset, are able to then follow through, stick the landing to secure that first checkpoint as Yaki just barely escapes the spear of Zenstari. But coming into the next engagement, I think that CYA is going to be easily nullified by that Endsong Inferno, but somehow Brownie does not get it down.
Oh, they don't indeed. Duep does manage to get Piggy here. Now they're going to be dropping in on Reject. This is dangerous right now because they know they can pummel in through the taverns here, take different angles, take different corridors, and just start picking them off one by one and really shred through that timer. But enough is enough as Genji do rotate around, force Reject back onto their defense on the high ground. But, ooh, they're taking quite a bit of damage right here. Hold on a second. Duep actually combines that into the Psionic, and they do scoop up and take Gargoyle down and Sungun as well.
Oh my goodness, so much offensive coming in from Genji, right? Gambit ultimate into the Psionic Seduction gives Duep more damage, more movement speed, and more leeway to try to charm up the rest of Reject. And with how bad these staggers are on the side of Reject, they're gonna have to quickly hit the reset button because it's gonna get concerningly close if they're able to touch in time. The portal's still on cooldown on the side of Reject, so they're gonna have to make a scramble if they want to try to contest the likes of Genji. But with how much of offensive firepower, this is an uphill battle for Reject.
Big Crutch coming out from the Feast of the Abyss into the charge combo right there from the Vanguards of Genji. But Autosuit Gargoyle is going to bring that dual action and allow them to take down Duep, to take down Salvation. Cheeky little pose for the victory that is there. But we still aren't over yet. We still got 50 seconds on the clock to see if Genji can take it back. All they got to do is win one fight, one clean fight down. They can take it to that second gate. The question is, do Reject have the high ground? Do they have a big play they can line up here? Brown is close to Ensong. Yucky as well to the Devil. It could be big, but it's right. You're right. The Gambit ult. Royal Flush. If that's what enables them, we're going to find out.
Yep, there's the damage going in. Skittles' ultimate getting immediately neutralized by Brownie, and Yaki with the Devil out thanks to the Royal Flush, enabling him to go absolutely berserk in the back line, and the front line then melted tandem with them. 15 seconds left on the clock. Genji, what adjustments do you have? Can you stay alive in Heart of Heaven? Because Reject are in that driver's seat, but we're about to go into full neutral. But Genji right now, 76%, 80% on Salvation on the Royal Flush. That is going to be the win condition for Genji.
There it is right now. There it is. There it is. If Zensari lands it in the back, does it?
Salvation's dead.
Taken two. You're
Salvation's
goddamn kidding me right now. They clutched it up. They took out the moment. The power over time is taking out sacrificial play earlier from FMCL, which does allow him to go down early to bring another portal for the next fight. But Gargoyle's swinging on the DP. It's going to be the Banhammer moment. Could it be enough for them? Overtime's not over. We're seeing the Captain America do it. Try to stall it out. Now it's time for Piggy to drop a portal of their own, as well as everybody's going full force with the Sorcerer Supreme right here. Overtime is officially at the last sliver. This is the last chance, the last moment. Can they make it happen?
Wait, Brownie.
Can Reject
Wait, Brownie.
pull off? Lastro takes another. Skittles is down. There's only 4 left from Genji. Advantage to Reject right now. Is it their moment? Is it the power? Can they handle it? Overtime is still going off. They're getting one. They're getting two. And they're holding strong right now. Reject playing on the front and back foot at the same time. But they got to be careful because Bobo's behind them.
Bobo's behind with the Galactic Legend. Brownie has to go up into the sky to try to evade the damage, but Bobo looking to clutch up. We thought it was Brownie coming up huge, but Bobo comes up even huger, but Gargoyle is still fighting, kicking and screaming. Genji are able to follow through what felt like the most intense overtime fight we have ever seen here between the two. And Reject, they had their moments. They were able to eliminate Salvation before he was able to get the Gambit ult down twice, but Salvation still was able to get it down, and Reject just felt like they couldn't get those eliminations in time, to the point where the overtime meter went down to 0, and we play on here in Heart of Heaven.
This is insanity. Dan, how did they pull that off? That was absolutely beyond overtime right now. I cannot believe it. I'm speechless. I'm cooked. I am absolutely so impressed right now from that sacrificial play for FMCL. Switching to the Vanguard, the Venom to sacrifice to get back onto the Strange to contest the portal that Reject were also going to use when Piggy went Strange, and allowed Boba to buy more time to build it up, to stall it out, and get that Galactic Legend in the backline to be able to take out Lastro, take out Brownie, single out that firepower coming out from Reject, and then turn the tide in their favor. But this is the last fight once more, and we're waiting to see who's going to set the mark. It's going to be Skittles early with the copy shuffle.
Yep, Rostro was easily able to counter it with the Fate of Both Worlds. Seunghoon, all eyes are on him if he's able to get the counter down. 1-for-1 trade overall so far. Seunghoon is able to get the copy onto the Fate of Both Worlds. Yaki looking to get value with the last stand, but he's not able to do so. Duep goes up with the Meteor. Is he able to get anything? Gargoyle is sticking onto Duep, and he's able to cut him down. The front line gone on the side of Genji. Reject are looking to get the hold down.
Can they take it? This is the final fight overtime. There's no portal. 2.76 meters. Is anybody there to stall? Duep does have the strange. The portal's not available. He's going to switch back to Venom. Can anyone else make it? Can there be a moment? Is this it? Does Reject take a map of Genji? It looks like they do! The streak! Then the streak!
The streak is dead. We have a series, ladies and gentlemen. Reject get the hold down. It just came down to clutches at that point. We know that Reject can play at the highest level. We know how Genji can play at the highest level, but Reject are the ones with the X factor. Shoutouts to Brownie coming up huge time and time again, but in that final fight, it was all Gargoyle sticking onto Duep, who was charging up that Meteor M, trying to one-shot anyone in the backline of Reject, and Gargoyle is able to cut that meatball up into several different pieces, and Reject are able to eat good off of that.
Woo! Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, so well there. Wow. Wow, everybody, we have a series on our hand between the two partner teams in the Pacific. This is officially Pacinema certified. That's what we want to see.
We wanted this.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted this. We waited, what, 6 or 7 months, jokes aside, for this exact matchup. We had a lot of questions coming into the Stage 1 playoffs. This is all we thought about, right? How is Genji going to play against Reject? How is Reject going to play against Genji? There were just so many different ways this series could have come down to, and I'm glad we got this version where both teams just going blow for blow, mano a mano. And now, effectively, we have cut this best of 5 down to a best of 3.
It is so refreshing to see such a competitive bout between teams right now, because it wasn't a team lacking as to why somebody won or somebody lost. Both teams went above and beyond, beyond overtime, portal after portal, Venom after Venom, sacrificial lamb for the contest after sacrificial lamb for the contest right there. Everybody did what they could. You had duels swapping to switch to Vanguards that could contest. Venom is fast, Angela's fast, but portals are faster, and they used all of those resources. Captain America to sacrifice as well. So much to consider there. How are they gonna Woo! Genji, congratulations, you finally get to pick a map. I don't think they've done that in a while.
Do they even remember how to do that? Because they gotta make sure. It was like, okay, we need to make sure that we have to pick a convoy map because that's the only game mode left here. We're gonna go into a short break because we need to breathe a little bit. We'll be back for map number 3. We'll see what Genji decide to pick here, and we'll be right back in a few short minutes.
Lights out. Get in here, y'all. Us against the world.
Well, no one will go to LAN unscathed. No team will escape this bracket untested. Not Reject, and now not even Gen G. Guys, I don't even know how to begin to break down what we just saw. I mean, you know, a lot of factors here for Reject to take map number 2 over Gen G. But, you know, for me, one of those big factors, it's gotta be Brownie.
No, Brownie came up huge in those final few fights there on Heart of Heaven, right? Getting these key eliminations, especially onto Salvation, who had that Gambit ultimate, and he had it, right? But Brownie was able to eliminate him not once, but twice, and that just stalled Gen G from utilizing that win condition, get that Gambit ultimate down, and just rush down Reject. But Brownie being able to come up huge in those crucial moments meant that Gen G had to make a few more attempts, although they were able to get that second checkpoint. But once they tried to get for the third, they just ran out of gas, and Reject were just able to swarm them over. And Gen G, look at this map pick. We're going to so many maps that we have not seen before here in
this is
playoffs.
Exactly
Gen G.
This is the play.
Yeah, they picked the Midtown. And Liger, what do you think about this?
This is the play. I'll tell you what. This is the play. Every team has been going Manhattan, Museum, maybe a little bit of, you know, Dracula's Castle. But we haven't been to Midtown in ages. And we know exactly what's going to happen on a convoy map with Gen G. And if they're on defense first, they are going to set up camp at that front door and not let Reject take a step out of spawn. They're going triple. That's their plan here.
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely expecting some full lockdown from Gen G. I have to imagine they're probably going to pick to play a defense first, like you say. Going to see a little bit of that old school triple coming back into full form here. And Gen G, a team very capable of making it work, even all the way here into Season 8.5 of Rivals. So definitely looking forward to this one. But, you know, I wonder if there's a little bit of risk involved here because, you know, there are some pretty nice long sight lines for some potential Phoenix shots. So I don't know. Are we going to see Jean Grey make it through this draft? Are we going to see Brownie continue to cook with her? That's kind of the risk I'm looking at going into this one.
I mean, it's not just the Phoenix getting value as well. There's a lot of other heroes that just shine so well, especially in that right before that first checkpoint on Midtown, right? Things like the Ultron, things like the Emma Frost that just utilize that lane so perfectly, utilizing their ultimates to create all of that space to, at the very least, give the team some room to just move on forward little by little. And we'll see if those picks do end up rising ever so slightly, but I'm not sure if they will be prioritized in the ban draft.
Ban draft is everything. It's everything right now. It's what allows you to download data and absolutely extract some opportunity away from the opposing force that you're facing. But right now, is it really everything in the ban draft for Gen G and for Reject here today? Because right now, I don't even know what these teams will play, because guess what? Whatever they play, they're going to put on a 10 out of 10 performance. That's what we expected from the top of the region, the best in Asia, the best in OCE. That's what's on our screens right now, everybody. Your mini regional is happening right in front of your faces, everybody. It's a little taste, maybe, of the grand finals. We don't know. There's still Z10 and XOXO.
I just want to say one more thing, right? I know there's a lot of people who are like, where's the Gen G Blade? The last time Gen G played Blade on the Ignite stage was in Grand Finals right here on Midtown. If Gen G are on the attacking side, who knows what they pull out of the bag at this point.
Okay. Talk to me about that. Blade. Who's the Blade player?
I mean, that's FMCL.
Who would bring out the Blade?
The last time Gen G put FMCL on the Blade, they used it in tandem with Zen Story on the Groot. Strangling Prison into the 1000-fold slash is just so devastating of a wombo combo. We'll see if Gen G are able to do that, but right now we gotta focus on the ban draft. Gen G are actually choosing the defensive side like you predicted, Liger, and now with the first ban onto the Mantis from both sides, so far it's been relatively the same. Gen G are putting a little more emphasis on the Rocket Raccoon. Do they want to save the Gambit here? They do. There was a little bit of consideration of, do they want to go for the Rocket Raccoon instead? But no, they realize how powerful this Gambit is, and Reject are also recognizing that very same thing.
You know what? There's also another composition that can work on this map. This is a tried and true map. This was the map that everyone played before Museum. There was a certain combo everyone played on this map as well. And when you remember to pay your debts, to the moon, then you can have some fun in the sun. All right, so maybe we see the Moon Knight. Honestly, Reject playing Moon Knight would make sense here. Why? Because Genji just protected a one-sided Loki. They just got Loki Gambit and have completely denied Reject, which means they will have 2 Royal Flushes every fight.
Yeah, and the Star Ward also goes untouched. Reject ran out of bans. They put more focus on the Rocket Raccoon and the Cyclops. So that's Gambit, Loki, and Star-Lord for Gen G. I'm sure they're going to take advantage of it in a few short moments, but right now Gen G doing their usual thing, right? The triple with the Adam Warlock and the Loki. So Reject, the game plan is clear. Play fast, get eliminations quickly before Bobo is able to, either Bobo or Skittles really, to get access to their ultimates. Because the longer Reject fight, the more harder it's going to be to win out those fights.
Alrighty, 3 minutes and a half right now on the Reject attack. As Genji are still trying to bunker in with their triple composition. Boba close to that Karmic Revival. That's the key to their first fight defense if they can get that off. But you got to be careful not to get comboed out by Piggy and Yaki if they get that one as well. But Granny also building up that Cyclops damage. Right now, you do got to notice Reject's ult charge is so low. And why is that? Because they're just absolutely hiding right now.
Oh, whoa. Yeah,
Genji are playing in corridors, but really early boundary forcing runes.
Yeah, Invis Boundary is going to be invested, what seems like on the side of Reject. Strangling Prison is going to go in. So much damage onto Zenstar. He's already gone. Skittles is able to get the copy in time to bring Zenstar back into the fight, but he gets taken down himself. But thankfully, he did copy the Adam Warlock, so he takes advantage of the Adam Warlock cocoon, so he's already back in this fight. Soulbon also going to be invested on Gen G, and Reject off of an aggressive Invis Boundary to try to force Gen G to play their hand, are not able to break through, and look how much ultimate economy Gen G have at their disposal. Brownie, though, look at the back line. He's ready to let out that Ruby Rage. Is he able to get it down and get all that value? Duep's investing the Scion Seduction, and Brownie is still waiting.
Waited a bit too long for Gen G right there, and it did not land. I gotta say, we gotta talk about that earlier Adam Warlock ult coming out from Skittles. The copy, Karmic Revival from Skittles, actually extracted so much value. What exactly? It took 2 ults from Reject and denied Reject movement, which then meant Brownie wanted to play a bit risky on the sides, go for a flank optic blast. Unfortunately, Gen G were just too deep already into Reject and couldn't get the lineup they wanted. I thought maybe wait for Piggy, get the Shiny Prison, get the full combo, but it looks like the combo Reject they're gonna need to go for. He might rely on Gargoyle with that Meteor.
It might be an ult dunk here. Sumun's going to use the Gambit ultimate, but everyone on Gen G are looking to make the offensive move first. Lasher going down. That means the Invisible Boundary not going to be in play here on the side of Reject, but Gen G, it doesn't matter if any of them go down because they have Bobo with the Karmic Revival, and Reject are still going to lose out in this fight. Gargoyle is going to look for different adjustments to make a different way in. Bobo does get forced to use the Cocoon, but Gen G still have that Karmic Revival. Reject were not able to force it out, and now Lasho coming in, respawned and ready to try to fight one more time, needs to get so much value out of this Invisible Boundary, but Skittles is there to try to shut it down. And Skittles, I gotta give a shout out to him really quickly, right? Throughout the entirety of this playoffs, he has been consistent in stealing the enemy Gambit's ultimate. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to pull it off here this time around, but Sunghun needs to be very careful to stay out of the line of sight of Skittles.
Oh, there it is. They finally got that combo going off. Brownie does manage to shred through, take Zensari, but Born Again.
Almost gone.
No, it gets cancelled. There it is. They don't get the Karmic Revival off, which is massive value right now as we see the Shredder arrive right there from Yaki in that combo. The best friends of the X-Men right now teaming up to shred through. Finally, after 3 minutes, they finally get momentum, but this is it. They're on Final Fight territory. They're trying to turn around Ambulance Avenue. They're trying to take it to the subway, but they only have 20 seconds to pull it off. Gen G, they got the portal open from FMCL. Do they need it? Are they going to use it? Looks like we're going to open up the Pentagram of Ferala and see if we can get Sorcerers up in here.
Piggy still has a Strangling Prison. Duep's able to find value. Shout out to Bobo, switches over to the Gambit so that Skittles is able to use the God of Mischief to copy it. And Piggy now uses the Strangling Prison, but all of his friends are gone. Nowhere to be seen. Portal needs to be channeled quickly, and now Gargoyle is going to try to do it, but is it going to be enough time? Because right now the timer goes to 0, the time runs slow, and Reject get full held.
Caught them off guard on a map they haven't played in a while. This was Gen G literally playing a game before we even walked out of spawn. Which now means they have a fairly, on paper, of course, not in reality, not in Wanda's reality, not in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness reality, easy push, but we'll see what Reject can do. Maybe they can hold as well. They can definitely run triple if they want. However, they do have Cyclops Wolverine open, which means they can really shred through whatever composition Gen G throws at them. But Gen G's on attack, they're going to switch it up a little bit, maybe bring out something different, which means now they can actually use what they saved, Dan. They can finally bring out the double Royal Flush combo, and that is hard to defend against.
It's going to be so hard for Reject. They're going to have to, at the very least, put Brownie on the Adam Warlock because of how much distance Reject only were able to get for themselves. They're going to have to play every single fight perfectly. Make sure that Brownie stays alive and is able to get the Adam Warlock ultimate down as soon as possible to make sure that Reject, if a lot of their members do go down, they still have that safety net of the Karmic Revival. But we're going to have to see how they're going to be able to approach this. Piggy, Yaki, and Gargoyle need to take as much damage as possible without getting knocked out so that these strategists can get those ultimates and match the tempo that Gen G are about to throw at them.
We're going to find out. Tempo, everybody raise your volume right now. I don't know, those who are sitting in their seats right now, you better be leaning forward, you better be locked in, you better get ready right now because we might witness some more action here right now. 3:42 on the clock, you got to be very careful as Piggy is building up everything they can, land in those thorn slash walls. Ironwood wall could be available in very much time, but right now there's a lot of damage that's pouring into Piggy, but good strategic presence coming out from I spoke too soon. FMCL is an absolute demon.
Oh my God.
Look at him absolutely single out Piggy and then absolutely throw Sunghoon upstairs and take him away from the team. What are you doing right now? One by one they're falling and they're moving already past a corner. They held Reject that for 3 minutes. We're already at Ambulance Avenue.
Skittles is going to be the dagger here. He's already gotten access to the God of Mischief. One copy onto Salvation could be the final nail in the coffin for Reject here on Midtown. There they go. Their rushdown is good. No one on Reject have their ultimates online in time. Watcho goes down at 99%. Gen G are just running over Reject. Reject have no momentum. They have no gas. Gen G should be able to just get themselves cruising into match and series point.
With a celebratory strangling prison coming out from Zenstar, they secure Midtown, putting themselves back in the lead in this series in a crazy round on Midtown. Look, Dan, we saw it coming. The moment that map popped up, we said we know what they're gonna do. But did Reject know? If we knew, then Reject surely would know. But it is a massive MVP to Skittles. The fire within this lad is insane right now. With such a presence, such a great band draft. Whoever coordinated that, I believe Skittles may be the one behind that one. Definitely the big brain out here. Definitely teaming up. Honestly, this whole team, just in unison. I can't even say it like, who's the hard carry? The role is shared amongst all 6 of them. Who's the big brain? It's all 6 of them. Right now, they are one unit, and that is the key to Marvel Royale's victory. Right now, Reject, they did show that. Last game, they took a map of GG. They broke the streak. But you can't just break the streak. You gotta build your own.
I mean, you talked about it, right? Gen G, their game plan was already established before they went into the band draft, right? They tried to get access to the Loki, and Reject, you could say, had a little bit of an oversight there. They decided to ban the Rocket Raccoon second when they did have an option to take away the Loki. And Gen G, it really seemed like they were completely okay with it. That just meant that they were able to get the first save onto the Loki, which means that Adam Warlock will be able to be functionable inside of Gen G's composition. And Reject kind of just, yeah, you might be right here. Reject might have just forgotten what Gen G really wanted to go for. And Gen G, with that triple with the Adam Warlock and the Loki, there's just nothing that Reject could do. The only way Reject could have made this map competitive was to go fast, try to eliminate that Adam Warlock, eliminate the Loki as soon as possible. But Reject, because they were not able to do it, it just got harder and harder and harder for Reject to win any fight.
I have a suggestion, and it's absolutely terrible. Can you lock out the Adam Warlock? You know they're gonna play it. You know they're going to build towards it. You know it's literally going to buy them minutes. The question is, can Reject figure out a different band draft to take on Gen G? They have map choice now. Do they have a map maybe they can catch Gen G off guard with? Hey, if Gen G can do it, Reject can too. We're talking about the best in the Pacific, and we'll be back more very shortly.
Lights out. Get in here, y'all. Us against the world.
Well, after dropping map number 2 to Reject, a massive bounce back for Gen G on Midtown, and we need to take a moment to really set the stakes here. Gen G now on match point, standing at 2-1 over Reject. If they are able to take map number 4 here, they will qualify for the grand finals in this bracket, but they will also be the first team at Ignite to punch their ticket to the mid-season finals international LAN. A lot on the line here, and a big bounce back for them. Really kind of all started at the draft screen.
Oh, goated map choice. Wakanda. Let's go.
Okay. Usually in map 4, because the game modes are reset, so right now Reject have a lot of different options that they want to go for in this next map, whether it be domination, convoy, convergence. They go for convergence here. Definitely a very interesting choice here. Most of the time it's usually a domination map, but Reject definitely looking to throw a little bit of a curveball here.
Yeah, their map choices this series have been interesting because we had a pretty similar reaction to Heart of Heaven back on map 2, and that was the map that Reject took over Gen G. So again, going back into Reject territory here, definitely interested to see if that will kind of turn the tides. But yeah, it feels like Gen G walked away from that band draft with so much potential. They took a lot of advantage of it, and like you guys were talking about, Gen G just built that momentum so quickly, and it became so much more difficult for Reject to take any team fight wins the longer that match went on.
I mean, you gotta give a shout out to Gen G utilizing the ban draft to perfection. They weren't really banning in terms of trying to restrict what Reject wanted to go for. They really approached the ban draft with their own team identity in mind, right? Try to get priority on the Loki to try to get that secured for themselves. And Reject, it just felt like they kind of got lost in the sauce there. Reject, they wanted to try to limit the resources that Gen G wanted for themselves. But then as they got deeper and deeper into that ban drive, it just felt like Reject were just like, where did our options go? What happened? We got Gambit, but that was about it.
Options are nice, cool, but we're on Jalia. A certain man woke up on this map a few seasons ago. I want Blade. I'm looking at you, FMCL. I want Blade. I've had enough of waiting. I've been asking since we played Blood Hunt when the game came out. W Blood Hunt, W Devs making fun game modes. Shout out, that was such a cool mode. I want more. But I want Blade. He woke up on this map, and I want JG to wake the blade up one more time, please. All right, look. There's aura. There's aura if you play Blade and secure yourself a land spot. Come on, man. Come on. It writes itself.
I mean, it would be the flashiest way possible, but we're gonna have to see, because right now I'm looking at the feed, right? Gen G are on the defense first. Reject choose to be on the attacking side. Does that switch up how they approach the ban draft? Do they want to try to go in swinging and get as far as possible, and then find ways to stave away Gen G from doing the very same thing? But this is where it all comes down to. It's the ban draft. Gen G, we talked about it, right? They approached this ban draft to try to figure out their team identity. They got exactly what they wanted on Midtown. Can they pull off the same here in Holojalia?
Ooh, low-key ban, okay. A little bit different, but following suit, surely it's going to be the Gambit protect for themselves. Gen G never going to walk away without a Gambit. That's for salvation. That's for Skittles. That's definitely for all of us watching at home, enjoying the good old royal flushes. It's crazy. It's actually completely shifted. Mantis is the priority ban so far in the Pacific. We're letting Gambit through. Rocket?
Why,
okay.
Where's the Loki ban reject? That was probably one of the big reasons why you guys lost out in that map on Midtown. Both sides are going to take away the Luna Snow, so none of that anti-dive option available. Not a lot of extra damage as well. But Gen G, yep, there it is. Loki saved. Gambit Loki. The devastation of a death of 1,000 cuts. Maybe 2,000 cuts if you count the second deck of cards that Loki could provide for Gen G. And Reject, you're going to have to hit the emergency button. Just take away things that enable this Gambit and the Loki. They saved the Rocket Raccoon one-sided, but again, Gen G are able to sneak away with Gambit, Loki, and Star-Lord.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that is insanely stacked. That is a dangerous ban drop.
Yaki Spider-Man, we gotta talk about this for a second.
Okay. Alright, lads. What's going on here? Okay. Let's talk a hypothetical scenario for a second, Dan. Let's take ourselves out of the game for a moment, okay? Where are we at in Pacific playoffs? If Gen G win this map, they've locked themselves into the mid-season finals. Where does that leave Reject? How have they performed against the other two teams? Right now, we've seen the Pacific. We've seen the skill levels. We've seen the matchups, but we're cursed with 3-0s or 3-1s. We haven't had map 5. Moments like this, I wonder to myself, has Reject accepted fate? Or are they going to bring something magical here? Okay? Luckily, Spider-Man's gone. We scared us for a little bit, but he's gone.
Wow. Okay, I'm a little surprised Gen G are not running the Gambit just yet. They're going to put Salvation onto the Invisible Woman. I guess to, at the very least, bunker down here up in this high ground that everyone on Gen G are just, stacked up together. And it does seem like Reject looking to go for a more dive style of play. It just feels like Gen G might have read the book a little bit on what Reject wanted to go for. Putting Piggy on the Angela, Gargoyle onto the Venom, Yaki on the Daredevil, and this Invisible Woman just rises in value because of the amount of options you have with the Force Physics to try to isolate either one of these dive players. And so far, Gen G are looking to bunker down so well. FMCL also on the Daredevil means that he's able to identify where Reject are at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we're going to identify that the timer is also going down and nobody's contesting because Gen G's high ground is just an insane bunker comp right now. It is not letting Reject get space, but speaking of space right now, we'll hopefully see some Meteor action if Duep can maybe build up that charge. Right now, they almost caught out Piggy, but Piggy's going to get a big bulk of healing coming out from Sunghun. There's a moment right there, if we can see the amp drop. Yep, see is coming out from Sunghun. That's going to be big if Bobo lands the optic blast. Gets one, taking out Piggy right there. But Piggy did manage to take another on their way down. Already to the strange portal is going to be Gen G with Duep charging up the pentagram. But Zensari takes out Yaki as well. They do stall it up. But Reject's capturing so fast already. 2 ticks away. They need that portal now.
Zenstar is able to find 2 with the skewer, but is not able to find any eliminations. Brownie's Ruby Rage does not get the value that he wanted. Is able to part the Gen G C as FMCL goes in with the Devil out, is able to find 2. Zenstar is there to team it up. Lostro gets brought right back, but with the Gambit ultimate being expended, Reject just run out of gas.
Running out of gas is not the answer here, but there it is. Reject now have a minute left in the bank to try and do... This was their map. They chose this map. They felt confident they could get further, but right now they got one last chance here. But marked already, FMCL. This is just insane. This is a map so good for Daredevil.
No.
Honestly, if they could have gone for a one-sided Daredevil for Yaki, it would have been the advantage. They would have locked out all the vision Genji could have scoured for. But nonetheless, they're going to have to roll with the hand they've been dealt here. Gargoyle does have a chance to bring out a massive feast here. Piggy is close to Heavenfall. If they can combo that, they might be able to chomp the strat line for Genji.
I'm a little scared right now for Reject. Look at how low their ultimate economy is. Genji have a lot of different safety nets at their disposal. And Reject, you're going to have to pull something out of the hat here, because right now this is a very tough situation to be in. Heaven's Retribution is going to find multiple members. The Invisible Boundary is going to be used in response. And that's going to be a trade of ultimates for Reject. But can they find even more? Duep goes in with the eye, is able to find one, and the rest of Reject are just going to be fragmented for the rest of this fight. 7 seconds left on the timer. Is there anyone there to touch? Gargoyle needs to go right in. Is at the very least able to trigger overtime, but is there more for Reject?
It definitely is, because Brandy's got the Pentagram of Ferrala winding up right now, which should mean the rest of them will be there. Lastra goes for some bubbles to get the absolute power from those bubbles to get the speed going. Oh my gosh, they denied the revival right there. Overtime still ticking down, and now Optic Blast is going. Amp is nullified right now. Maybe another Hydro Moto could be in Duep's arsenal, but we're going to have to build to it for now. Eldritch Rip is swinging. We see the Angela slashing. Boyo's getting one, lasering Piggy down. Sungun falls to the Maelstrom of madness right there, and Zensari takes out Brownie. What an insane hold for Genji. This is looking dire for Reject.
Yeah, no, Reject looked so doomed going into that final fight. Their ultimate economy was in the absolute gutter. Genji had the upper hand there. Skittles with the God of Mischief, Salvation with the Invisible Boundary. They were willing to, at the very least, spend a little bit of those ultimates, because Reject, all they had was Gargoyle's Feast of the Abyss and Piggy's Heaven's Retribution. And when Piggy went for it with the Heaven's Retribution, it was immediately traded out by Salvation on the Invisible Boundary. And Reject, with less and less of those options, Genji were clearly in the driver's seat. They get the full hold down. And now Reject, again, in a very similar position from back in Midtown. They're going to have to play these fights perfectly if they want to stay alive, and at the very least, get the easy way into the mid-season finals, maybe.
30 seconds.
No! Sorry. Zensari hovered the thing. I got excited. Thought it was Ben Grimm time. Unfortunately, not Ben Grimm time. I was sad, Cap. I just want my Mr. Fantastical Ben Grimm out here from the Fantastics, but that's okay. You got a game to win. You got a land spot to secure. Here's the beautiful thing right now. Genji are currently all playing from China right now. Playing away from home. Well, Bobo is at home. Bobo's chilling. Salvation's chilling.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, just around the corner from home. But nonetheless, this is what they want. They are literally, officially, 83% of a point away from the mid-season finals. Can they lock it in?
We'll see. Can they make their grand return onto the international stage? It's literally right in front of them. 83% separates Genji from a land spot. Can they get it done? Genji looking to swarm all over Reject. How is Reject positioning here? They're looking to try to bunker down, try to spread out maybe. But right now the front line is already gone. Gargoyle is going to get exploded by Duep, and this is already bad news. We're already 40% of the way there, Liger.
And it's already bad news. It's already old news, because it is officially gone in favor of Genji right here. There may be some last straggling hopes, and it's just too much pressure coming from Genji, who have secured themselves into the grand finals of the Pacific Playoffs, which means they've also secured themselves to a spot representing the Pacific in the mid-season finals.
That's just felt like an easy walk in the park for Genji towards the tail end. Those last two maps, they were able to get the full holds down and just cruise their way into the international stage. Welcome back, Genji. Welcome back, Chopper Mag. Whatever way you recognize this team, because they are so back. And I feel like the entirety of OCE, the entirety of Pacific are definitely rejoicing that Genji are back.
Woo. Now, we already know what's about to happen. Okay, I'm calling it right now, Dan. Vaudible's making the Twitter post right now, officially announcing Gen G has qualified. Thank you, Vaudible. Everybody follow Vaudible on Twitter. Now, Gen G have officially won and locked themselves in the grand finals. And a crazy, crazy map pool that they absolutely decimated on here. But we gotta rewind. We gotta rewind. Map 2, whoa, insane. So good of Reject. Like, breaking the streak, bringing out absolutely everything in their arsenal. Honestly, I would be very surprised if they didn't also secure themselves a land spot at the end of tomorrow. But there are still 2 demons who will fight tonight. It's not over till it's over.
Yeah, now Reject are going to have to get sent down to the lower bracket. They're going to have to await who they're going to be playing up against. It's either going to be XOXO01 or Zero Tenacity, which is going to be the next best of 5 series that we're going to be covering here tonight. But right now, Reject, it really felt like the only times they were able to stay alive in those maps, in those fights, were off of clutches. I mean, all eyes are on Brownie doing so much work for Reject to stay alive, getting those key eliminations onto the backline of Gen G to try to stall out what Gen G's game plan was. But it just felt like in those final 2 maps, Reject just completely disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talked about the draft already a lot. Gen G's draft IQ through the roof in this series for sure. But yeah, it was just Reject backs against the wall, forced to play in that clutch over and over again, like you said, Dan, and it just can't be sustainable for that team. And you see it happen. They have the mid-air break up there on Hall of Djalia. And, you know, for a moment, maybe a little bit of progress, but Gen G just get that forward pressure, pedal to the metal, and it is all over in seconds for them. Now down into the lower bracket, not out of the tournament quite yet, but of course that does mean Gen G, the team formerly known as Chopper Mag, their story continues with yet another international LAN in the near future for them. A huge win, and no doubt they are definitely got a lot to celebrate, and we'll hear from them in just a little bit here. But yeah, what a big win here for Gen G. But credit where credit is due, Reject did also break that seemingly impossible to break map win streak for Gen G.
Look, I'll tell you what, we're going to have a chat with somebody from Gen G. I'll tell you what, I don't think they're going to treat this as a win. Yes, they won, but they are so self-critical of themselves, and they did lose a map. Their mantra is no maps lost. Their goals are to take on teams the like of Team Liquid Citadel, the likes of Swamp Gaming, Na'Vi, Virtus Pro. That is their goal, to take on those teams. They were a team that came top 5th/6th in grand finals last year. And they're a team now locked back into mid-season finals. A team that also did come 5th/6th with half their roster back in mid-season last year as well. This is a team that has something to prove, and finally a chance, an opportunity to bring their entire full roster to the LAN stage is what we are hoping they can all make it to the location of mid-season finals. We do not know what's in store, but we do know they still have one more match in Pacific playoffs.
Yeah, we can go off of a little bit of a history lesson, right? We know that Gen G as a team are able to, at the very least, take over against like the mid/lower end teams over in the Americas and EMEA sides, or at least what we've been seeing in the grand finals last year. I'm sure they're going to be able to replicate that, but right now the big question is, can they go toe-to-toe with some of the best of the best? Like you mentioned, Lager, like Team Liquid Citadel, Swamp Gaming, VP, Na'Vi. Are they able to go toe-to-toe at the very least this time around?
Yeah, and you know they gotta be thinking about that next step, of course. They're always looking ahead to the next battle because, yeah, the job is far from over. It's not even over here in just the Pacific region because there is still the grand finals on deck for them tomorrow, and we will shortly find out who is going to take on Reject in the lower bracket finals. But, yeah, you know, that was the big question coming into tonight was Gen G and Reject, both of them still feels like they came in to this third night of the playoffs untested, and now both of them getting some battle tests in for sure, as Reject did not make it a clean sweep for them. But yeah, you know, we did talk a little bit about the no maps dropped mantra for Gen G, and you know, the Chiefs have given them a run for their money on some maps too throughout the OCE parts of this Pacific region. But yeah, looking ahead, you know, definitely still some work to be done, still some things to clean up, but Gen G looking as deadly, if not deadlier than ever.
Woo! I can't wait. Cannot wait to get in and figure it all out.
We were hyped for so many months, and we got exactly what we wanted. Although maps 3 and 4 were a little bit one-sided in favor of Genji, at the very least, we know that Reject definitely have some firepower in the tank, especially from what we saw in map number 2. And if we saw map 2 for every single map, oh my goodness, I feel like Twitter would absolutely explode because of it.
Ooh, that would be gorgeous. You know, the beautiful thing is our region, we're known for some crazy lower bracket finals, so I think some of the best sets are just in store for us. We got so much in store.
Yeah, plenty of action still left here in this playoff bracket. But before we continue with that action, we do need to hear from Genji, see what the team is feeling like. We've got one member on the line here, gonna get our questions in and find out how they are feeling about this win. Bobo, hello, welcome
Bobo.
in, my friend. Congratulations
Hello.
on the big win. You guys are going to the mid-season finals. How are you feeling?
Happy? Just chill. The job is not finished. That's all.
I'm not finished yet.
That's what we like to
Ooh.
hear. That's what we needed. Just a quick question, right? You guys lost map number 2 to Reject. Did that scare you guys a little bit, or were you guys able to just recover and then, you know, pick yourself up again?
Like map 2, I think just our comp and our ban pick is bad on defense. Like we should just go invis, I think. We just test, like just try, cause in screen we never pick this map. That we will practice more this map. Nah, that's all. No, nevers. Just play again. I know our team is best.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Liger's got.
you know, okay, I got a question, Bubba. I got a question.
Liger's just
got a good one.
stunned. He's just like, oh my
I
goodness,
got
Genji,
a
you're
good
back.
one. Okay, I got a good one. Okay. Bubba, of course, you guys have now locked yourselves into the grand final. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but yeah, to the grand finals and to the mid-season finals.
There you go.
I got a question. You on the stage, of course. You were on the stage at the grand finals last year. You said a message to the world. Maybe. Do you have another message to the world today?
Buy Genji button. And trust us.
Perfect.
Like we can, like I think we are like good team, American team and European team, like VP, Team Liquid, we are same level team. Just because our ping is bad online, so we can't improve us. Like people always say OC region or just bad, but I think we are same level. Just trust us. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
Trust.
nice to see you guys play on ping for sure. There's one more match tonight. It's XOXO01 versus Zero Tenacity. Do you think one of those teams can beat Reject, or do you think you guys will see Reject again in the grand finals?
I think they are like close. I think it's very close, like Z10 and EXO and Reject. But I think maybe Reject just higher than a little bit. I think. Just watch what they play. Like EXO is good on dive comp, and Z10 is good at like Wolverine Cyclops, and I think Reject can play all comp. Just watch how they ban pick, like what map and what ban pick. I think will very wonderful this match. Yes, I will watch.
Yeah, Cinema for sure, and Cinema in this matchup with Genji and Reject. Bobo, thank you so much. Obviously not the last time we are going to talk to you. Good luck tomorrow, and we can't wait to see you guys back on the LAN stage.
Yeah, thank you.